At the top of a towering mountain, where the icy wind cut through the thin air and the clouds seemed close enough to touch, Goku sat on a rock. His legs were crossed, his arms resting on his knees, and his eyes closed in deep meditation. The Saiyan warrior sought more than physical strength. He understood that his mind and spirit needed to be honed as much as his body. He had fought battles that defied the universe, facing powerful adversaries, but with each new fight, he realized that his raw power was not everything. Serenity and mental clarity became equally important. As he breathed slowly, feeling the ki around him, a thought began to germinate in his mind. A nuisance that he had been ignoring for months: Frieza. The former tyrant, the one he had defeated in the past and who had later returned stronger, had not given any sign of life in months. There was no information about him anywhere in the universe. This in itself should not have been a concern, but Goku knew his enemy very well. Frieza was proud, ambitious, and above all, relentless in his pursuit of power. His sudden disappearance seemed more like preparation than retirement. A slight uneasiness ran through Goku's body. He knew that Frieza was not the kind of enemy to remain silent for so long, especially after their last confrontations. All the while, Frieza had been coming back stronger, more determined. Is he training? Goku thought. This thought bothered Goku so much that he immediately opened his eyes, interrupting his meditation. The idea of Frieza being somewhere improving himself reminded him of their previous battles. Each time Frieza returned, he was more powerful, more relentless. Goku knew that he and Vegeta had managed to overcome Frieza so far, but if that monster was indeed training again, who was to say how far his powers could go this time? What's more, if Frieza was truly preparing, he could seek revenge, and perhaps this time they wouldn't be ready to stop him. Without hesitation, Goku stood up, his fists clenched. If Frieza was training, he needed to be stronger too. He couldn't allow Frieza to surpass his own strength. But before he made any rash decisions, he needed answers. He decided that the best way to find out would be to ask the one who knew everything directly. Shenron. The determination in Goku's heart drove him to begin his journey in search of the Dragon Balls. He had become a master at locating them, and he knew that time was of the essence. Every second Frieza spent training was one step closer to becoming an invincible foe. Before long, Goku had gathered all 7 balls, and the sky, which had once been clear and serene, became dark and heavy with stormy clouds. The wind began to blow strongly, and then the eternal dragon, Shenron, appeared. "Say your wish, Goku!" Shenron's deep voice echoed across the sky. Goku looked at the gigantic dragon and without hesitation asked, "Shenron, is Frieza training?" The dragon's red eyes glowed, and there was a moment of silence, as if Shenron himself were consulting the secrets of the universe. Then his deep voice rang out again. "Yes, Frieza is training. His strength is increasing rapidly, faster than you imagine, Son Goku." Goku's heart pounded. He knew Frieza was ruthless, but hearing it from Shenron's mouth confirmed his worst fears. Frieza was about to become a threat that could surpass even him and Vegeta. He could not allow that to happen. "Thank you, Shenron," Goku said. "You can rest now." The dragon disappeared in a burst of light, and the Dragon Balls scattered to the ends of the earth. Goku stood for a moment, processing this information. Frieza was getting stronger and he did not know how far his power could go. Goku was facing a new challenge. Shenron's revelation about Frieza's training echoed in his mind constantly. He knew his arch-nemesis was stronger, but the gravity of the situation was pushing him to surpass his own limits, to achieve something beyond what he had ever known. Determined to overcome this growing threat, Goku returned to what he knew best: relentless training. But this time, something was different. The allies who had always accompanied him in his training were not available. Vegeta was elsewhere, probably also training, and Gohan, Piccolo, and the others were focused on their own lives. There was no one available to help him. However, this did not shake his determination. Goku, as he had done so many times before, decided to train alone. For weeks, he secluded himself in the mountains, far from civilization. The harsh, wild environment was the perfect place for him to test his limits. During this time, he faced the forces of nature, the relentless winds, the raging storms, the biting cold of the nights. Every moment, every second of fighting against the elements made his body and spirit grow even stronger. Goku was on a lonely, but no less determined, search for a power that could be enough to face Frieza at his peak. It was during one of these intense training sessions, when he was on the edge of physical and mental exhaustion, that something unexpected happened. His ki began to flow in a different way, and he felt a surge of power he had never experienced before. Goku's hair began to glow in a completely new hue, and an incandescent energy enveloped him. The Saiyan warrior transformed into something beyond anything he had ever achieved. He called this form Super Saiyan 10. This new transformation was overwhelming. The power in his body was unimaginable. His abilities heightened to levels he had never thought possible. With each blow he struck the air, the space around him seemed to distort. But there was a problem. Despite his immense power, Goku could not maintain the transformation for long. His body was not prepared to contain that energy in a stable manner, and this became a risk. Goku thought deeply about what he could do to stabilize this transformation. He could not fight Frieza if he was not able to control his own power. It was then that an idea began to form in his mind. The Dragon Balls had always been a source of answers and solutions to the most impossible problems. Perhaps they could be the key to helping him control Super Saiyan 10. Without hesitation, Goku began his search for the 7 Dragon Balls once again. As always, he knew where to look, and his connection to the earth made the process easier. Within days, the balls were gathered before him, ready for another request. But this time, Goku decided to do something different. Instead of immediately summoning Shenron, Goku felt he needed to connect more deeply with the balls and the power they contained. He sat in the lotus position. The glowing balls spread out before him and began to meditate. Time passed, and Goku remained motionless, his breathing in perfect harmony with the flow of energy he felt around him. He remained like that for 2 days straight, not moving, not speaking, just allowing his mind, body, and spirit to align with the power of the spheres. At the end of the 2nd day, something extraordinary happened. The Dragon Balls began to glow brightly, as if responding to Goku's inner call. Little by little, their glow intensified until one by one, the Dragon Balls began to dissolve into pure energy and enter his body. He felt the power of the Dragon Balls being absorbed by his body, becoming part of his essence. At that moment, Goku opened his eyes. His body was enveloped in golden energy, and effortlessly he transformed once again into Super Saiyan 10. But this time, the transformation was different. There was no more pain or instability. Goku felt the power flowing freely throughout his entire being in a steady and controlled manner. More than that, he felt an internal change. This new form was not just a physical evolution. Super Saiyan 10 seemed to transform his very mindset. He was more serious, more cool-headed, focused on a level he had never experienced before. It was as if the fusion with the Dragon Balls had purged his mind of any distractions, transforming him into a perfect warrior. Goku slowly stood up, feeling the strength of this new transformation pulsate through his body. He knew he was ready to face Frieza or any other threat that might arise, but he also understood that with this new power came a greater responsibility. He could not act impulsively or emotionally as he had in the past. Now he was a fully focused warrior, a fighter with a clear purpose. Frieza had no idea what he was about to face. Guys, with this, we will end today's video. I know it's boring, but we'll see you in the next video. Leave lots of likes on the video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So, see you another day, guys.